Hello, and thank you for tuning in to episode number 14 of The Nexus. I'm your host, Adam Eastwood, just like always, and I've pretty much brought together our usual group except one special guest host. So this week we have our Paladin by day and Hearthstone Paladin by night, Remedies.
What's up, everybody? Woo! I'm pumped to be here tonight.
I know you missed last week, so now you have all this stuff you want to talk about.
Yes, lots.
Lots. We have our lore-loving, time-altering gamer, David Troy.
Hi, listeners. Hi, chat room. Hi, Adam. Hi, Remedies. You know what? All the glare from all these gold medals we've got up north here of the border. I can't see who our special guest host is, but I'm sure it's someone awesome.
Oh,
Too
Lord.
soon. Too soon. And like you said, our guest host this week, the host of Epic Podcast, Lignar.
Hey guys, what's up? And yeah, that it was a little too soon. Just gotta say.
Yeah, David, you seem to be fading out there. I can't hear you.
Oh, no, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
So let's go ahead and talk about our weekend gaming and MOBAs and Blizzard games. We'll start with Lignar. You can start off. You're our host, our guest host.
Wow. I feel like I'm on the spot now. Been playing a little bit of Smite. We talked about that like a little bit before we started this show. Been trying to get some practice into Hearthstone. I entered the Blizzmaster Hearthstone tournament or league. I'm not sure what the right term is.
It's a league.
And I entered it kind of like, and I've said this on Epic before, I entered it kind of like somebody who entered a marathon and then started jogging. Because I really suck at Hearthstone, but I thought, why not? It'd be fun, right? So I've been trying to get some practice into Hearthstone, not as much as I'd like to do. Been raiding with my group in AIE and WoW, and other than that, that's about all I've been doing gaming-wise for the past few weeks. But I you know, and I know we're going to talk about it later. I'm really waiting on another video for community commentary for Heroes.
Yes.
Yes.
Rem, what have you been up to in the last 2 weeks?
Let's see. I've been playing this game called Smite. I've been playing this game called Smite. And I've been playing this game called Smite. No, I didn't get to raid. My WoW time expired, and then I paid it like 2 days after it expired because I'm terrible like that. Yeah, so I've literally just been playing Smite. It's an awesome MOBA. If you haven't tried it out and you're a big MOBA fan, you should totally give it a try. It'll take some time getting used to, but it's fun. Well, I'm sure we're going to talk about it later.
And David, what have you been up to?
Well, you know, we've gotten a chance, my raid group, Solid Senate's gotten a chance to take a few whacks at Garage 25-man normals, so haven't really gotten them down yet, but we're getting closer. Other than that, we've got a Hearthstone tournament coming up for the Convert to Raid Guild this weekend. So I've been kind of training, trying to get myself in shape, you know, threw on some 80s synth rock and montaged my way to getting a few more cards that I need. So pretty much getting ready for that, and that's pretty much it. Also played a little bit of Smite, just kind of getting my feet wet right now.
Oh man, I forgot to sign up for that tournament. Is it too late?
I do not know. You might want to check.
Yeah,
You might want to check. It's still there in the forums, so.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely have to. I can't believe I forgot to do that. I've been excited to actually try out a tournament, see how I do. I have a good warrior deck that I thoroughly enjoy. But other than that, basically because Rem and Messi have forced me into playing Smite.
Oh, we didn't force you.
You got me slightly addicted to that game. I'm not gonna lie. It's a fun game. I like the third person view.
I love it.
I mean,
oh my gosh.
I think technically I started playing it first, but then you guys were like, "Oh, we're playing it all the time," and that's what I enjoy about video games is playing with my friends. Yeah, so it's like,
I agree.
That's where people are. That's where I am. But in League of Legends, I hit level 30.
Nice, congrats.
Thanks. So what that basically means is at this point, I am sitting there dreading pressing the ranked button because I don't want to do my placement matches. I'm just nervous that I'm going to get a group of people that are really bad and just get placed really low. And granted, that means you can kind of build your way up, but I want to be like better than the worst out there. You know, in terms of ranking.
So you want to be mediocre, like, because that's better than the worst.
Right. I don't even mind being slightly better than worse.
Okay.
If that makes any sense. Like,
there's nothing wrong with that.
As long As long as I've downloaded it, Adam, it's okay. You'll be better than the worst.
Well, you know what it is I'd rather be bad at my hand than get a group of people that are all bad and it be their fault. So I had the worst experience today, though, playing League of Legends. I was playing with a group of people in a non-ranked, and this person joined, and he was kind of bad, right? And I never tell people they're bad, and I just let them play. And then he friended me afterwards. I'm like, oh, cool. Maybe he just was looking for more people to play with. Maybe he needs more practice. Well, he proceeded a wall of text of cursing me out, telling me how bad I was at the game.
What?
Yeah, he told me that he hoped that I die now, and that I should do certain things with male body parts.
And that kind of behavior is so surprising coming from League of Legends.
Yeah. No.
Well, so I just want to point that out just because the whole reason we're doing this podcast is so we can play with friends and we don't have to deal with that group of people.
Yeah.
It was I felt pretty bad. And I couldn't even find a way of reporting him because we'd already left the match screen and everything. So that kind of annoyed me because I'm like, that deserves something. I don't know. It was very frustrating. So what we'll do is go ahead and get our listeners to get to know our guest hosts, those who haven't listened to Epic Podcast. So Lignar, why don't you give us a quick little bio, kind of what you do, what Epic Podcast is for the people out there.
Well, Epic Podcast is we bill ourselves as a podcast for the WoW community. It's myself, Metacakes, and WoW Marty, and AKA Joe, if you're familiar with his YouTube channel. We just talk about what's going on currently in WoW. Sometimes it's news, sometimes it's something that's going on in the community, whatever's got buzz, that kind of stuff. Especially lately until the past week or so, where we've had this kind of lull in information about the expansion that's coming out and all that kind of stuff. We've kind of just basically picked up on what's going on in the community and given our viewpoint on it. And not going to say our viewpoint's necessarily popular, but it's our opinion. It's our show, right? So, but that's about Epic. As far as myself, I'm a gamer of all kinds. Not really pro, and I'm using the air quotes. Thank God we're doing video. When it comes to MOBAs, I've dabbled in a lot of them. I played League a little bit, and I'm horrible at it. I've played Dota 2. I'm slightly better at it. I'm in the Infinite Crisis beta. I've not played it in a couple weeks. And the Infinite Crisis beta kind of gives me a feeling of what I think we're going to get from Heroes. In that, I'm not a huge fan of how Infinite Crisis is designed, but it's a bunch of characters that I know and love. Mm-hmm. And from what I've seen so far from Heroes is I like the way it's designed. Plus, it's a bunch of characters that we know and love.
Yes.
So I think that's going to those two things combined. But the characters that we know and love I think that's what's going to be the strength. And Smite, I've picked up Smite lately, and I'm really digging it.
Yeah.
I think for folks who are MMO players or WoW players, and I did a video on our YouTube channel, I think Smite is a good stepping stone into the genre because of the third-person over-the-shoulder view that you get. It kind of feels like an MMO, but you're playing a MOBA. So I think it's a good stepping stone for. Wow, my video keeps cutting out. So I think it's a good stepping stone for people who are WoW players who maybe have an interest in the genre now because Heroes is coming out and it maybe has kind of sparked their interest. I think Smite is a good stepping stone for that, to at least get them familiar with the concepts of laning and towers and that sort of thing. And frankly, it's probably why of the major titles that are out there, it's probably why it's my favorite, is because it's that nice middle ground. Mm-hmm. So.
Now, other than necessarily the heroes that are out there, in terms of features that are changing in Heroes of the Storm compared to other MOBAs, which is your favorite, would you say?
When you compare Heroes to other MOBAs?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the PvE objectives on the map. That's probably my favorite part of it, because it requires team play more so than most of the other MOBAs, where you don't have somebody who's, you're waiting to get somebody down so your support guy can come and kill him and get the XP, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
The group XP, and honestly, I know a lot of people who play MOBAs. Like, I'm a big fan of not having items, not having the gold shop in the game. I'm a huge fan of that. It takes complexity out of the game, and frankly, I don't think it's fun to shop for items. There's just no fun in it. I understand there's fun in the customization, but actually going through the shop and scrolling around and clicking on something, that's not fun. I want to go kill people. That's the fun.
And you know what I find is I have each hero or champion, whatever you want to call them, depending on the game, I have it pretty much set up so that way I know exactly what I want to buy. So it's not as customizable as you think. It's like WoW has been saying for years, it's the illusion of choice.
Right, exactly.
Where you think you have an option, but you really don't. And yeah, sometimes you go into League of Legends, you're like, wow, that guy is built really tanky. I need to be a little more, armor penetration type stuff. But, you already have that planned out if that's going to happen.
Right.
So, Lignar, of all the heroes so far, who are you most excited to play?
Honestly, that changes every time I see a show match. I'm a StarCraft fan. Like, I don't know if you can tell back here. I kind of dig my StarCraft. Raynor, obviously. Main reason just because I want to call it in the Hyperion. I mean, come on.
Yes.
I mean that's the biggest reason for Raynor. And Kerrigan for that matter. But I don't know that the playstyle of Abathur will be necessarily my playstyle, but I'm really looking forward to playing him and finding out. And Sergeant Hammer with the siege tank. And it seems like I'm all StarCraft on this, but then again, there's Arthas too, right?
Just
so
all of the StarCraft heroes, just give them to me, right?
Oh man, it's funny how it worked out because I made your when we go individual people, I just started kind of going to the person, and I'll go to yours now so everyone can see. I somehow picked Jim Raynor to be on yours, so you should see that up in just a second. But so StarCraft heroes are kind of your thing.
But at the same time, like I'm looking forward to playing Arthas. I mean, and I've read what was data mined out of the alpha client and all that kind of stuff, and it's like this looks interesting. But at the same time, Falstad looks interesting. With being able to, I'm probably got it confused. He's the one that can fly away from damage.
Yes.
Yeah, he looks interesting because I also like to run away from getting killed. So I don't know. It's just until I actually get in and play it, it's hard to answer that question. And every time I watch one of the show matches, it kind of changes my opinion. But honestly, Abathur is probably the one I'm most intrigued about. So.
Yeah, I think for me, we've talked about many times, Abathur was that first one that really struck me as, hey, I want to play him.
He looks just so unique.
Right, so different. But now that I've been playing more League of Legends lately, I'm like, Nova is kind of what I'm looking at. So definitely, like you said, it changes. And then, next week we'll see some other new hero come out and we're like, okay, everyone, we should be playing this one.
Yeah, I think we're all kind of like that, right? Like it's true. Every time I see some, well, except for Rem.
No.
But I mean, I think
men
all of
are
us,
so flip-floppy. Can't make up my mind what I want to do. Come on, guys, get it together. Pick a hero and just stick with it. I'm just picking on you guys, but Uther all the way, baby.
Yeah, even looking at the alpha stuff, I mean, Tychus looked really, really, really interesting from what I saw.
Yeah, Tychus does look really like if Uther wasn't in the game, and now that I've seen Tychus, I think Tychus would be one of the ones that I would be playing. So.
No, if Uther wasn't in it, you would call Blizzard and be like, get it done.
Get a paladin in there.
Probably.
Yes, either that or you would play Tassadar because he's basically the Protoss paladin.
I would totally play Tassadar hands down because Protoss for life, baby. Protoss for life.
Well, no, I thought that and then I switched, so you probably will switch eventually too.
No.
So for the news this week, it pretty much revolves around one key thing. It's the Heroes Q&A number 3. And this Q&A was really focused on art and skins and Rem. What did you think of it? Anything that stuck out to you?
I don't know. I just thought it was awesome getting to see a lot of new stuff. Seeing some in the match. I think they had a character. Oh my gosh, I am drawing blanks. But there was somebody in the match that they haven't really shown a lot of. I don't know. Anyways, so moving on.
Right,
but
I can't think of who it was. Sorry.
I know.
Jaina?
Was it Jaina?
Jaina? They mentioned Jaina.
I don't think it was Jaina.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. But regardless, like them talking about the art is by far one of my most favorite things about the games. Like when I play MOBAs, I am like a skin collector. Like I always
That sounds really creepy.
that sounds like a Morgan Freeman movie.
let me have your skins. No, I mean like I try to buy the ones that you can buy, and then like in Smite there's ones that you can actually just buy with the game currency that you earn called favor. So I've been saving up my favor, spending my favor on a new skin. So I'm an art person. Like that is my favorite part about MOBAs aside from like actually playing them. So the entire Q&A being pretty much about all the art stuff was fantastic. If you haven't seen it yet, you should check it out. I'm sure it's up on the Heroes of the Storm main website, and quick Google search will get it for you, but definitely check it out.
And I heard that at the beginning of the stream there was a bunch of echo sound problems, and I heard they tried to clean that up for the VOD. So if you like, I couldn't hardly watch the first 15 or so minutes of it, but
yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah,
it was still bad when I listened to it earlier.
Yeah,
but yeah, I did hear that they cleaned it up. So
Good.
I haven't had a chance to check it out, but I might go back and try to rewatch it because anything with Samwise in it talking about Blizzard art, it's worth watching and listening to. So
it's just like the whole video was just like beard and hair everywhere.
right.
He looked like an awesome Uther skin. Actually, it was
yes,
Yeah.
we need a Samwise
Samwise
Uther skin. I'd buy that. Hands down. Shut up and take my money. Like, yes,
Like, shut up, take my money.
yes.
Lignar, anything that they talked about that really like stuck out to you in general?
Well, nothing in particular except they did kind of, the one thing I guess that kind of stuck out was one of the questions that came in, they asked what kind of freedom they were giving the artists to kind of combine the different Blizzard universes. And they basically said, whatever an artist wants to pitch to us, we'll listen. And we might say, that sounds horrible. And I think it was Samwise that said this, like, somebody might come to us and pitch an idea and be like, that sounds horrible. And then they draw something up and they're like, this is awesome, do it. Mm-hmm. And that, to me, I think is really cool about this game because, like, I love, and I know I sound like a total Blizzard fanboy, and I'll admit it, I am.
We all are.
But,
We all are.
but I mean, like, I love WoW. I love, not just WoW. I love Warcraft. I played the RTS's, the first one when it came out. I was playing it on DOS, and I've played them all since launch. Warcraft 1, 2, 3, and WoW. Which, granted, I didn't start playing WoW until mid Wrath. But I play WoW. I play StarCraft. I play Diablo, and to have all of these kind of, well, not even kind of, but literally combined, like, I'm totally jazzed about that. And to see how jazzed the artists are about being able to kind of break those barriers between their universes that they have, that's the key thing for me. And I guess the other thing is if they're doing a Q&A on art, like, that's, from a game design perspective, one of the last things you're kind of going to finalize.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to worry about the mechanics of the game before you worry about what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. It's got me jazzed that I think we're going to start getting our hands on this game soon.
I hope so.
I really do, because if they're going to do a Q&A about art, then it means they're okay with how the game plays.
Mm-hmm.
They're just worried about how it looks now.
Well, they were definitely showing some improvements there, like in terms of like the color, like being able to bring out the colors and things like that. When they showed that was a huge improvement from what they had before.
Mm.
Definitely.
And when they showed the updated models, I think it was Nova, her armor was like, I don't know what they did. They did some retexturing, I guess. And her armor looks fantastic now. And then the details in her face are just incredibly like fine, and it's all a lot, I don't know, just sharp and clear and just amazing compared to the skins and stuff and the models that we were shown in the BlizzCon panels and then shortly thereafter, like they are definitely putting the polish on now. So I agree, Lignar. I hope that it's not very far away. You know, they're doing these, it feels like just finishing touches to me. That's what it seems like.
Yeah, finishing touches before they get to the point where at least the general...
They just put that wherever.
The general group of people that are, the general public. There we go. That threw me off. So finishing touches kind of before the general public really starts seeing it on a more regular basis.
Yeah.
Like you said, the armor went from like kind of that really dull color to that bright, vibrant, and even the, I don't even know what it is, but that the light blue that kind of runs through the ghost armor was like almost like shiny, almost like it was moving.
It was shiny.
So I that's got me all excited. I really got excited over the Kerrigan skin that they showed, the Countess von Kerrigan or whatever.
Yes, those were awesome.
Because it really shows that they're going to be kind of going out there with the skins. You know, we saw some out there, but I really enjoyed that one.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but when I saw that one, I thought Kerrigan meets Skullomance for WoW players who know what Skullomance is. That's exactly what I thought. Or Brill, but that's what I thought. And I was like, oh my god, they're actually going there with these skins. This is awesome. They're really crossing those boundaries.
Yeah.
It did really have a Bride of Frankenstein feel to it as well.
Yeah, that's what I thought when I saw it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely. The melding of the worlds they talked about, where they're going to be doing more between, StarCraft people dressed up in Warcraft costumes.
Yes.
And I think that's got everyone excited,
I'm super excited for that.
They
already did my favorite one though, because
what are you
they
most excited about?
The thing I'm most excited about are shields made out of shields and swords made out of swords. I thought that was the coolest thing that I saw there, and I was just like totally pumped. And I'm like, I just want to hang around whoever those guys are on the map. I want to hang around them. They got a good idea.
David's like, if I go out to the other people, they might kill me. I'm just gonna hang out with you guys because you have shields made out of shields.
That's what I said. I totally heartfelt. I'm like, you had me at shields made out of shields, and then I saw the swords made out of swords, and I'm like, that's it. Now I want helmets made out of helmets.
Do you imagine that? It's like, I don't know. When you say that, because you know how the shield looked, it was like a wooden block and it had 4 different shields like stuck onto it. So like a helmet made out of helmets makes me think of like the old school World War II like type helmets, and then maybe like I don't know, some kind of like other helmet like here and then another helmet on the other side. If you're listening to this and not watching the VOD, then you have no idea what I'm talking about. But can you just imagine that? Like a massive helmets on a character set. Okay. All right, I'm done.
I just love that shield. It looked like kind of like the most like ghetto coat of arms of all time.
Yes.
It was great. Awesome. It just like slapped whatever was lying around onto a shield. It was great.
And the base of it was like a wood shield. It wasn't even like because I think there was a metal buckler type shield on it, and then the base, like all what they were all stuck to, was a wooden shield. Like, don't you think it would be the other way around? Like, you would want the base to be like the metal buckler or something stronger. I don't know. That drove me nuts. I was like, well, that's like a really crappy shield.
Yeah, it looked just kind of like a piece of plywood with 4 shields stuck on it. But yeah. I mean, it looked cool though.
It was an ogre holding it. What do you expect? Like, finely, Smith.
He probably doesn't even need this shield. Ogres don't need shields.
That's right. But he's got 4 of them on one shield. It's great. It's like a banana. It's like a banana split kind of thing.
It's like he's like I just want to look like a knight.
Yeah.
I mean, what else did they talk about? I know they were talking about kind of the voiceovers and how if the skin calls for it.
Oh my god, yes! Mercablo Diablo. Or whatever.
Mercablo Diablo?
Whatever. Well, because that's the name of the pet in WoW, and so every time I see the Murloc Diablo thing, I think of Mercablo. My bad. But yeah, so can you imagine big old Diablo running around, but like, gurgle, like a Murloc. Like, I can't do it. I can't do the sound, but...
That was a terrible Murloc.
That was, sorry, that was kind of horrible.
Well, I'm glad that I'm not a Murloc.
You said it was horrible, David. I think now we have to hear your Murloc.
Yeah, do it.
Like, oh, no, that's pretty bad too.
I want to hear Lignar do
You're
one.
so-
Lignar, you
Oh
do-
wow!
you
Now I'm
do
on.
Murloc.
Now I'm on a spot. And okay, hold on. Sorry, that was bad too. That was horrible. I've done
And
better.
Adam, you might as well throw your Murloc in now.
I think everyone's spouses are going to be walking into their rooms in a
I
moment.
think David wins.
Did I win?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't know.
won.
I liked Lignar's. Lignar's
I
is
don't know. You're just being nice because
So-
I'm the guest.
has gone.
I say we let the chat room tell us, in about a minute or so when they
Yeah,
actually
vote,
get to
vote
hear
for
it.
your favorite Murloc impersonator.
Do a straw poll real quick.
Now I want a Murloc made out of Murlocs.
Oh my god. Oh gosh, what are we doing?
I don't know. And I think that kind of the final point that I have kind of remembering is the point they made about the pop culture references and how depends on the hero how often they're gonna kind of move into that, whimsical like fun outside the universe skins, and I think that made a lot of sense in the long run. Arthas is gonna have more serious than say the Stitches or an Elite Tauren Chieftain. They're gonna have more of the funny ones kind of going on. Do you guys think that's how they should do it, or do you think like Arthas should just have like silly skins everywhere?
I think Arthur should have at least one. I think every character in the game should have at least one silly skin.
I fully agree. From what we heard of BlizzCon, and granted, we heard this mostly with WoW, but I think this is something that Blizzard is kind of going towards on all of their franchises is play with your friends. And who doesn't like to do silly shit with their friends? Sorry, I said yes word. Sorry, I don't know if that's okay on your show.
I've done it before. It's okay. Adam
Okay,
has-
well, I did hear that on your
I mean-
last episode where you were like, "Can I say that?" And I was like, "Okay, so I'm good too." So,
I'm
but yeah,
sorry,
I mean,
Adam.
so who doesn't like to do that kind of stuff with their friends and just goof off and do silly stuff, right? I don't think they should all be silly skins. Like, I don't think there should ever be one character. Well, I guess the Tauren Chieftain kind of by default, all of his skins kind of should be kind of cheesy and fun and corny because the character himself is kind of cheesy, corny, and funny.
Yeah.
But I think I agree with Remedies. I think every character should have at least one that's just kind of like the roller derby Nova, just kind of goofy and have some fun. And I think they all should at least one. But when I think about that, I'm like, what would you do with Tychus? What would you do with Abathur? What would you do with God? And I'm drawing a total blank now.
I agree.
Even
Abathur
Arthas.
is probably the hardest one for me to envision skins for, because he's so what he is. Like it's
You wouldn't recognize him.
right.
But see, you got to think outside of the box. Like think of it like Halloween, right? So you can dress him up as anything that you want, even if he doesn't necessarily look like those things, right? So Abathur could be like a Greek god, and you could put like a toga on him and the little wreath in his head. He has a head, right? Yeah. So
Kinda.
so you can dress him up like a Grecian and call it a skin. It's Greek Abathur. I don't know. Like you gotta think a little bit outside the box. Yeah, it is kind of hard to think of like specific, like how to change him into a Warcraft themed skin or a Diablo themed. Well, Diablo might be kind of easy if you look at some of the minions that are in Diablo, the demon things. I don't know. I think you could slap some costumes on him and call it a skin and be good to go.
See, I'm gonna have to jump in as the lore police here, so I'm sorry, but I mean, I think they actually had a good point. And like, it's really dependent on who the hero is, and I think the example they gave of Arthas was really good because I think, I mean, I think it all depends on how far you want to move the silliness. Like, I think you can kind of have a silly Arthas skin, like if he's like, I think they talked about Baron Arthas, so maybe you could do like a, I don't know, Count Dracula Arthas, or like, like a Euro trash Arthas or something like that, like where it's like, he's in like a business like Gordon Gekko suit or something. Like I think you can go that far. I don't think you can go to like pool party Arthas. I don't think you can really like take it too far.
So
yeah,
hard.
because I don't think so, because again, this is like one of your main lore guys, and that's like one of the draws of this game. I think once you start getting too wacky, it's like, okay, I'm just sort of like, I'm I'm playing a hero that's really just this long-haired guy in a bathing suit. Like it takes you out of the immersion too much.
I've got to jump into Remedy's camp here. Like, you can't get much more serious than Uther either, and we have a lumberjack Uther.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yes. Well, see, that's the point of I don't take Art Uther seriously, so they're
Well, I don't know, but I think you can do it. I think you can get crazy. Like, every skin doesn't have to be something crazy and super fun and holiday themed or, whatever. But I think that there is room for that in the game. I mean, like, I'm playing Smite, and today I was playing Poseidon, the god of water and the seas and all that. And he has a skin called Poseidon, and he summons a rubber ducky, for crying out loud. And it is the coolest skin ever. But he's still Poseidon. He's still the god that he is, and he's still awesome. It's just a fun skin that changes the in-game graphics.
And the animations for that are hilarious.
Yes,
they make it fun.
Release the Kraken. I don't know. It's super awesome. So I'm gonna disagree with you, David.
Well, I respect for your right to disagree, but I disagree with you as well. So.
I'll make 1 point for David because it. What is it? I lost my train of thought. Sorry. Is that Uther is a lumberjack, and that's okay.
Because he works all night and he sleeps all day.
When the game comes out, I'm gonna rock your world in lumberjack Uther skin. That came out way wrong, but
hey, you want to make it more wrong? I'll cast it.
Yes,
me and you. We're
gonna do it live.
That's it.
Okay, I think
we just got an R rating right now.
That's it. Might as well just go all the way and have that Countess Arthas skin.
The Countess.
Yes.
If they do gender bending skins, I think that would be totally. I mean, they're already doing it with the barbarian chick dude from Diablo, whatever you want. The chick dude, apparently you can get a skin to be the other gender. Wouldn't that be really cool to see Princess Arthas or Princess Artha? I don't know. I think that would be really cool.
I think I've lost the war here. So once we're getting to
Princess Artha, David, I want skins. I like skins.
Oh man. Well, I think we've pretty much gone over the entire Q&A. So we're going to go ahead and move into our first segment of the day, our Hero Spotlight.
This is the Hero Spotlight.
Now this week, because we kind of had a lot of news with the Q&A going on, we decided to kind of take a light lore character, and we're going to be going over the Elite Tauren Chieftain. David, do you have anything to say about the Elite Tauren Chieftain? Kind of where he comes from? I know it's not really lore, but it's, you might know.
It's a very deep and dark story, Adam. No, basically, Elite Tauren Chieftain is a band that's put together with Blizzard employees, Samwise Didier, Chris Sigary, Dave Bergen, Mike Morheim, and Alan DeBeery form Elite Tauren Chieftain. It actually dates back to Warcraft 3. Now, in terms of the game itself, you can actually, I think they normally hang around in Silvermoon, but they do actually do little gigs that you can find them playing every so often in I think it's Shatrath. I think it's Dire Brew, right?
And the Dark Moon Fair they do.
And the Dark Moon Fair, they're doing it now as well, yeah. So, I mean, they've got, your classic songs like I'm Murloc, Power of the Horde, Rogues Do It From Behind, things like that. So, and that's pretty much it. And so they've got this iconic character that always levels up with the game. So it's been, level 10 Tauren Chieftain in Warcraft, and then, went up 60, 70, 80, 90 in World of Warcraft. And then now he's in Heroes of the Storm as well.
And when we're talking kind of Heroes of Storm abilities, he kind of starts off with this passive, which is when he uses a skill, the allied heroes around him all get kind of increased damage. So he's kind of a buffer. He's a warrior, but he does add kind of a support role a little bit as well.
You said buffer. And then one of his first abilities is going to be a power slide where he gets to charge at an enemy, dealing damage and stunning them. It's probably a line-aimed attack, and he is really epic looking when he does it.
So I probably should have told Lignar ahead of time. So when it's green, like I colored you earlier, that's yours.
Thanks for the heads up on that. He's got another ability called Face Melt, and he charges towards the target direction, dealing damage to enemies that he passes through, which sounds like another linear target similar to the Power Slide. I've not seen it. I don't know if you guys saw it in any of the show matches. I know he was in one or two of them that they did, but I didn't notice this, which is pretty
Everything
bad.
happens so fast. It's
I
hard
know,
to
and it's pretty bad. I didn't notice it because I casted two of the videos that they put out for us, and I didn't see it. So
That's how fast it is.
yeah, it is, and honestly, and it just
It's so
happens
fast, it'll melt your face. See what I
Hey,
did
there you go.
That's right. He's also got a guitar solo, appropriately enough. Now, when he performs it, it basically is a channeling skill, and he's healed while he performs. It's the healing power of the guitar solo. So
Yes.
And he'll have two options, like every other hero out there. He'll have his stage dive, where he'll leap from his location to another point on the map, damaging and stunning enemies in AoE, in the destination. And then he'll also be able to do a mosh pit, where he creates a mosh pit around himself, stunning heroes for 4 seconds. It seems like he's kind of like Diablo, where he has a lot of like engages and stuns, and he's gonna get into combat and just really like locks people down so that way the other people can kill them. I guess that makes sense for the warrior class.
you know what I
very
think
aggressive.
You know what I think would actually be awesome, like looking at these abilities, like when he does the stage dive into like the crowd of enemies, that when instead of them just being stunned and standing there doing nothing, that they have to kind of like make them crowd surf. So like they're doing like the entire time, like they're crowd surfing him. That's their stun.
That actually would be pretty cool. I don't think any
you're
of us can
listening,
disagree with you.
That actually would be, except it would visually stun the Tauren Chieftain too, because he's being surfed along in the crowd, so he wouldn't be able to use his abilities. So visually speaking, that wouldn't work, but it would look awesome. I'm not going to take that away from you.
Maybe you should stun him too. It's kind of like it's an ability that hurts him and them. It's like his card in Hearthstone.
Oh yeah. Oh man, that card. I love using the card, but I don't
Oh,
like
that card
giving
is such
them
a
anything
waste
else.
of a card in your deck. Why are you playing that card in your deck? Bad.
I have it in
Terrible.
one of my decks just because
No.
sometimes I just want to have the neon light show, and I just want to have some fun.
That's okay. And I totally think that is awesome. I have made decks in Hearthstone made of nothing but gnome cards, so I can see putting it in there for fun. Okay, my bad.
And so, any of you guys think you might play him as like a main? Is he kind of just, I don't think any of us really, I don't know about Lignar directly, but I'm not a big warrior fan in terms of that play on a MOBA. But I don't know if you.
My play style, I've learned through my time dabbling in League and my time dabbling in Dota and my time playing around in Smite, I tend to do better, ironically, just like in WoW, I tend to do better as a ranged class. I will play him because I want to get into casting, and I need to play him to be familiar with him. So that's one of those things, like, I will play him. Will he be one that I play when I'm playing for not research or just to have fun or just to play whatever? Probably not. Because I favor more of the ranged type classes. So I'm probably going to, and even though I know I said earlier that I would play Raynor, but I'm probably going to lean towards what I play as my main is probably going to be more like Nova, somebody like that who's more of a ranged class. But I am going to play him because as somebody who wants to cast these games, I kind of need to know how they play.
Yep. I'm the same way. I want to know how he plays, but any kind of serious play, I'll probably shy away from him. Yeah, definitely. Now, skin-wise, we saw the Glam Rock E.T.C.
Which is awesome. He's like
Exactly.
an 80s rocker type deal with bright neon colors.
Like he fits right in with Poison.
Yeah, exactly.
Like early GNR, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Now, I don't think there are very many other skins that they've shown us for E.T.C.
No, I think that's it. What I'd like to see is like a serious skin. Like give him an actual weapon and just deck him out as a very, almost do the opposite they would be doing with everybody else and making them a little sillier and make him just like an actual serious like fighter skin.
But that's a pretty challenging thing to take. I mean, it's easier to take something that's serious and make it goofy than it is to take something that's goofy and make it serious. It's a little bit easier on the first than it is the latter.
Yeah, it's a little bit tempting. It's a little tempting to go for the silly one when you've got the serious one. The other way around, it is kind of tough.
Well, that's why Blizzard makes the big money. They figure these things out for us.
Very true.
They listen and they're like,
Indeed.
we should follow what he's saying.
You know what I would
Well.
love to see? What I'd love to see is kind of like a reggae band Elite Tauren Chieftain with
That
the big
would be
jets
cool.
and everything like that. And like
I
the
could-
hat and the sunglasses. I think that would be cool.
Like an elite Marley chieftain.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Utah look
Yes.
kind of thing and everything. I think that would be a great look.
I think that would be awesome. I want to see a like steampunk type outfit dealio or I want to see steampunk with like some cogwheels going on and like a really steampunk looking guitar. Like I think that would be really cool to see E.T.C dressed up as.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised, especially after that art. When you know how they were talking about how they want to match the skins to like the areas, and they were talking about Dragonshire, how that's very kind of like like Excalibur in Vegas, like very soft fantasy. Would be if they do like kind of like a minstrel one where he's like playing the mandolin or something.
Oh yeah,
You know, that kind of like a very bard looking one.
Yeah.
I could see them going that route, especially after what they said in the art.
Yeah.
I can see that. And I can see something that's like, okay, so he's kind of got the 80s glam rock, right? That's the skin we've seen. I can see an Ozzy Osbourne kind of a goth look. I can see that kind of skin coming too.
Yeah. What about a techno, like I don't know, like
Here's-
electronica type deal with like
Playing-
neon lights and stuff? Yeah.
Playing a guitar.
Yes, playing a guitar. And
Wait, didn't
I
he
think
have one
that
of those
would
on
be
his
cool.
back in the glam rock skin? And
Yeah,
didn't
I
he
think
did.
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
They may have already done that.
But I'm saying they should go like full blown techno with it, like the neon, like raver kind of colors and stuff like that. That would be really cool.
See, I picture like the Hawaiian luau ETC.
Oh,
Put him in a grass
that's
skirt,
a good
little
one.
ukulele, and he's like,
A ukulele, yes.
See, now you're making me want to play the ETC.
you're like, if they come out with those skins, I'm gonna play him.
I have to.
Skins, please.
That's the best way in any of these games to get a underplayed champion to start being played more. Is just to put out like
Yes.
the best skin for them, and then everyone's like, yes, we'll do
It's
it.
Yeah.
It's totally true.
Okay. You guys have any final thoughts on the Elite Tauren Chieftain?
No, I think he's gonna. I think he's gonna be a pretty good hero for anybody who really likes a warrior type. I know that there's other warrior types in the game, but he's gonna be fun. I think he's gonna be really fun, and he has a pretty interesting kit going for him. A little bit of self healing, so a little bit of CC and stuff like that. So I honestly think that he'll be a good hero for beginners, like people who have never played a MOBA. Because of the kit that he has, he can stun people and do the sliding. And a lot of that can actually, for new players, can be used to actually get away from enemies. So I think that he'll be a really good beginner hero. And that's just my opinion. We'll see when it comes out. But that's what I'm going with.
Yeah, he does seem really mobile. Like that's the one thing from looking at his abilities.
Yes.
And I agree. And I kind of think he looks like, from what we've seen, he looks kind of like the epitome of what they want this game to be. They want this game to be fun. And he looks like he's going to be fun. Even though he might not be leading the boards in most kills or whatever, but he looks like he's going to be fun to play. And I think that's really what Blizzard's shooting for with this game, is to just have fun.
Oh yeah, 100%. So we're gonna go ahead and move into our new player segment.
Heroes here, new heroes needed here, new heroes wanted.
Now we're kind of going through the different roles inside of a really LOL game at this point to let you know some of the good heroes that you want to start out with. So for support, I picked Tark. I know Rem might disagree because I know she plays a lot more support than I do. So she might be able to think of another support that beginners could play. But kind of looking through them myself, I really thought Tark was a good option for people, as he has a stun, a heal, and kind of the ability to kind of buff his allies with attack damage. So I would put him as one of the kind of the good support characters to kind of start out as. Rem, being a kind of a support player yourself, do you kind of agree? Can you think of one that might be a little bit better for new players?
I agree. I think that Tarek is actually a really good choice because of the kit that he has. Yeah, I'm going to agree with you there. However, one of the very first support characters that I ever played, and I still play to this day, actually main her a lot, is Kale. I think that she is also a really good kind of easy ease yourself into playing a support character because she, like Tarek, doesn't have a stun, but she has a slow, so you can slow the enemy champions in your lane. She also has a heal, and it does give whoever you heal with it a slight shield on top of the heal, I think. Either that or it buffs them. I can't remember. And then she has an AoE damage ability, which is her E ability. And then her ultimate is an invulnerability that she can give to other people. So she has a really nice, well-rounded toolkit that you can become a pretty good support with. So I'm going to agree with you. I think Tarek or Kale would be two very good support characters to start out with in League.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I wouldn't recommend to anybody out there that's kind of learning support to kind of jump into kind of the supports that you see often in the LCS. You know,
like Annie.
Like Annie. Because, she really didn't start out as a support, and it's really a different type of play style compared to the other ones. And heroes like Thresh and Blitzcrank that have the pull in, I think it takes time and practice to, one, hit that on like a consistent basis where you're not wasting it all the time, and two, knowing when to kind of pull in the engage.
Yeah, and plus playing support characters like that is a little bit different than being like your typical healer type, because they're more, I don't know, like to me, heroes that have abilities like that where they suck people into them and are just like more CC geared, kind of like Annie is, I guess, sort of. I feel like they're more for people who want to be more actively like damaging in the lane, and they want to be really aggressive in the lane. If you're looking to be more of like the healer type, there are better heroes for that role.
And like you said, they're more active, which means you kind of have to take control of the lane a little bit more. Like I know when I play with Xantar, he plays Thresh, and I play his ADC, and he tells me, okay, I'm going to hook him. Be ready to attack. Where
those kind of heroes are they're more aggressive for support.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you want to be able to sit back and actually just kind of play a really support and hang back role, then you don't have to be like, you can kind of follow the leader as those guys.
Yeah.
David Lignar, have either of you guys ever played support, or you guys kind of stay away from it?
I've still been staying DPS, so I haven't really, gotten into support as of yet. So it's still
cute.
DPS. It's always DPS as far as I'm concerned. So.
I say my primary role when I play, especially when I play League, is I'm a feeder. So.
Oh, so you're the same spec as me.
Right? Yeah.
Okay,
I just go in and be like, I'm gonna have some fun. Shit, I'm dead.
Oh my gosh, that was the best thing ever.
And the thing is like I know what I'm doing is not right, but I can't help it. It's just
it feels so right.
Right, it does. Like I'm having fun, so whatever.
Oh man,
we're not a popular spec though, Lignar. That's the problem.
I know.
Yeah, you guys get yelled at all the time. No.
Do people ever call you that? Like, have you ever actually been called a feeder, like just like via chat and stuff like that? Like.
Not that I've noticed, but I tend to not pay attention to people.
Right, yeah. No, I get you on that.
Because it's like, I know kind of what the community's like, and I know what kind of abuse I'm going to take, and I know I suck, especially like at League. I know I suck at the game, so I'm not going to pay much attention to the chat, because I know that they're just going to tell me I'm bad. So why? Because I know I'm bad, so I don't need them to like reassure that.
Right.
So,
I just realized that in the entire time I've been playing League of Legends, I've had the all chat turned off. And I was like, oh, let me go ahead and turn this on. And
oh, no, don't do that.
Yeah,
that's
not a good idea, dude.
Yeah.
It's like trade chat on every server, and wow,
Right.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
With like anal jokes, and yeah, it's pretty bad.
So was it Baron's chat?
Oh my gosh,
Cross.
Barrett.
Worse.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Oh, man. But yeah, I did it, and I was like, man, why did I do this? Although there was a fun time, and I couldn't figure out how to talk in all chat. I just knew how to read it, which is the worst, because then you're like, I want to say something, but you can't. And someone said something because I was jungling, and someone said, why are you going into my jungle? I haven't touched yours. And I wanted to be like, it's all my jungle. And I'm like, I was like, maybe it's good that I didn't say it. Because it's like, you get like wrapped into it, and you're like, I need to talk trash. But that was lighthearted, at least. I wasn't going to call him any names.
Right. Now, the reason I had asked Lignar if he had ever been called a feeder, you know, if you feel like that's what you tend to do in the game. I am like, because when I first started playing League of Legends a very long time ago, I was very bad, like terrible, incredibly bad at the game. I didn't even want to play anymore. I was so bad at it. And, you know, there was like the constant flaming, you're terrible, quit this game, uninstall it, you shoot yourself, or, you know, whatever people say. And anyway, so I kind of changed the way that I played. And I mean, this is how you have to learn how to play MOBAs. You have to learn how to be a little more defensive and I guess like cautious. And anyway, so I became the type of player where I'm like overly cautious because I'm so afraid that I'm gonna be a feeder, if that makes any sense. So I actually tend, when I play League of Legends, especially with like random people, I get yelled at all the time for like not being there enough because I'm like recalling, like don't die, I'm running away. And yeah, so like I get yelled at not for feeding, but for not being there with my lane partner enough to like help them.
Yeah, I can see that. And I play more Dota 2 than I do League.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not because I think one game is better than the other. It's just I think with Dota 2 having more champions or heroes or whatever they're called, I can't keep them all straight. You have more available in Dota 2 than you do at League without having to spend real money, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of leaned towards Dota. Typically I play Sniper when I play Dota 2.
Yes.
Again, back to the ranged class, right? Mm-hmm. Typically, I feel like a feeder. And I've never actually been called a feeder when I play Dota 2, but I feel like a feeder because I find myself getting like a 2-on-1 and I'm getting ganked and there's nobody there to help me.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm really feeding, but I die a lot because I run into that situation. No one that I've noticed, and like I said, I kind of ignore chat for the most part because it's people I don't know.
Yeah.
And I know they're just going to be toxic, so I just ignore them.
Yeah.
And I don't flat out ignore them, but I don't pay like strict attention to chat. But I've not that I've noticed have ever been called a feeder, but I feel that way because I get into situations. And if you've played Dota 2 and you've played Sniper, if you got 2-on-1, you're kind of screwed.
Mm-hmm. You might be kind of screwed 1-on-1 if they come up from behind.
Right.
Because once they close the gap, I play him and one other guy. I can't think of the other guy's name. But Sniper I like because he outranges the turrets.
Right.
So it's like,
now, I've never played Dota 2. Is Sniper just like a physical ranged?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because that's what I play in Smite, pretty much, is mostly physical ranged characters, like the hunters and stuff like that. So, yeah. Because there isn't, like, in Smite, there isn't really a support, like, it's so frustrating because like I went from playing League of Legends and all I play is support in League of Legends. I don't do anything else. I play no other heroes except support characters. And so when I got Smite and I was like, oh, this game looks awesome, I'm going to be whatever support characters are in Smite. Come to find out that there aren't actually any support characters, and the way that you lane in Smite is a little bit different than the way you lane in League of Legends. They usually just do... Well, I guess there kind of are support characters, but they're really more just like the CC'ers. So you want like one really good CC'er in each of the side lanes, and then you just want a really strong ganker.
in Smite, you can get your abilities and your items set up to where you're a little bit more support versus...
Yeah, and
you
there
can
are
kind of do it
some
that way.
characters that are kind of supporty. They have more healing. Like there's a Chinese goddess named Chang'e. She has like really good healing abilities. I know that the Norse goddess Hel. She has like two forms that you can play her in, a damage doing form and then a healing form. And then Cupid has like a little bit of healing too. So there are a couple of characters that have healing, but that's like not what they're built to do, I guess.
Right.
It's different than it is in League of Legends.
But I think if you were to take that build with the talents and the items, I think you would probably need to have some pretty good team coordination to where you and the other team, the other people on your team knew that's what you were going to do.
Yeah.
And in most randoms, you're not going to have that.
Yeah.
You know,
I've been playing a lot of Cupid, and like every match that I get in, everybody wants me to do something different. They're like, oh, Cupid solo mid. Oh, Cupid duo right. Oh, Cupid, you can, jungle. And I was like, Cupid jungling. Like, I don't know about this, but okay. So yeah, it's crazy the different ways that you can build characters in Smite, but I'm done. I promise. I'm done talking about Smite.
No, actually, I was just going to say that the only god in Smite, after I kind of looked through as many of them as I could, that I would say is a support class, would be Aphrodite.
Yeah.
Because she literally needs somebody there in order to like use most of her abilities.
Right.
To the strongest. So, with that, I think we're gonna kind of move into the final part of our show where we talk about skins we want to see. And because we were talking about Elite Tour and Chieftain this week, I felt as though the only theme that we could use are kind of music-inspired skins, which we kind of went over with E.T.C. So for me, I think we need to see an emo Illidan.
Yeah, like hello, brother, that kind of thing.
Yep, and he has the hair, and he's like,
Oh, wow.
And it's like over one side of his face, and his skin's like really pale.
I could do that right now. Emo rim.
I want to see Sergeant MC Hammer.
So,
Oh my
Nice.
gosh, that
Yeah,
would be
like he's
so
just
good.
like, it's just like he's driving around the truck. There's like music blaring way too loud, like that guy who pulls up next to you at the red light, that kind of thing.
the
I think that would
spinners.
just be great.
The
Yeah,
actual
it's
wheels with
it's just
spinners?
but he only plays Rick James. He doesn't play actual MC.
Oh, no. No way. Let's see. I'm really big into like techno music and dubstep and stuff like that. So I guess as like, which character do you think you could like deck out like Skrillex or Deadmau5? Do you guys listen to any dubstep?
You had me lost at Skrillex.
Okay, all right.
It's like,
I kind of know who you're talking about, but I'm not sure I can pick one of the characters that you
Right?
could-
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want to pick one because I don't want people to know that I know who you're talking about, basically.
Yeah.
Well, if anybody doesn't know who Deadmau5 is, I mean,
They're awesome. Anyways, okay. And then I had brought up a couple of episodes back that I think that there is there's totally a way to put Deckard Cain in the game. It's one of our older episodes. I even like had a kit designed for him and everything. Well, relatively speaking. And anyway, so Deckard Cain could be dressed up like Sting, like straight up like Sting. I think it would work. It would totally work.
and I didn't realize that there is no Deckard, there is no Herodrum in
Yeah.
any of the heroes. There's no Deckard Cain. There's none of the Herodrum. That's interesting. So we need to start talking about the expansion, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
but no, I didn't think about that. I could see Zeratul maybe doing a Deckard Cain skin. But
Unless they make Deckard Cain a hero, which is what I want.
unless
Yeah, I think he deserves his own. I don't think
I
he
agree.
deserves his own hero.
I agree.
I think he does. I think he would play just like Sona from League of Legends. Like, I think that is what Deckard Cain would be. All power word buff type things with auras. Like, I think that would be Deckard Cain. Hands down.
I gotta ask the Rem, why Sting?
I don't know, because he's old and
God,
Old.
no, you're making me feel old.
I don't know. I just think I don't know. I don't know what it is. I just think that'd be really cool.
Mhm.
Don't judge me, okay?
Yeah, you could do a lot of different things with them, right?
Lignar.
What about like Kiss characters?
Kiss
like- Yeah.
wait, yeah, as far as I really don't know what I could think of except from what I said earlier about like a goth style ETC skin. And and I was thinking like listening to the past few episodes of you guys where you talked about like 80s gaming and like I'm sitting there, I was in my car when you guys were talking about it and somebody said something about a Samus skin and all that kind of stuff and I'm yelling at my car while and I'm like that's my that's my time in gaming and I'm like I'm yelling all these skins out like I want a Donkey Kong skin for Diablo.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And
That
just
was
different things
cool.
like that. But to come up with something like now I feel like I'm on the spot and I'm like, I know I just said 2 of them, but like I feel like I'm drawing a blank. But
It would be King Coblo.
yes,
Yes. Yes.
because I mean he's got
this needs to
the
happen.
size and the physical like the stature and everything he needs for that kind of skin. And I'm like, give me a Donkey Kong skin. But then you come into licensing and whatever.
Yeah,
but
whatever.
Yeah, but League
They could do
starts
King
it.
Coblo and just make him a giant ass gorilla.
But yeah, they could use and I actually didn't. Have they not used one of the gorillas from like Stranglethorn or whatever that's in WoW?
That's true.
I don't know, but there's King Mukla. Who,
Mukla,
like,
yeah.
is in
He's in Hearthstone.
yeah.
Right, so-
well, he's in Hearthstone, but because he's from Warcraft,
Right.
it's
So-
Heroes of Warcraft.
So give me a
Yeah.
Mukla skin for Diablo then, I guess, instead of a
yeah.
King Kong skin. But yeah, when I was listening to that, and I was like, I'm sitting there like rattling off all these old NES games and all these things I used to play, and then now I'm like, I can't think of anything. Yeah, that's the one I can think of, and I think they could have some real fun with the ETC and have some skins like give me an Ozzy Osbourne skin, give me a disco skin, give me an old Elvis skin with the jumpsuit and the big collar and just have some fun with it.
Tons of them.
You could do one of the
The
girl
Elvis.
characters, like a pop star type.
Right, give me a Michael Jackson skin. He's got one glove on.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
that would be really cool.
It's terrible, but I was thinking about Michael Jackson earlier, but I figured he'd have to be kind of like undead, like they
Or-
really
or
pale
blood.
looking.
Who's skinny enough and like which of the male characters are thin enough to pull
What
off a
else?
Michael Jackson look?
Professor Putricide.
But is he a character in Heroes of the Storm?
No, not yet.
That's what I
Eventually.
mean. I guess like Illidan would be like the thinnest of the characters.
Illidan or Malfurion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Malfurion's got the antlers, so yeah, that wouldn't really work with.
Yeah, but Illidan has.
It's just
Well,
skin.
I don't know,
unicorns.
but Michael Jackson has worn some crazy stuff, so
This is true.
And don't you? I mean, to what you were saying, though, Lignar,
just put
you
some
gotta.
sequins on him, we'd be good to go. Like it'd be all right.
Yeah,
What about
let's-
Elvis Presley?
get-
Did you say that too?
yeah, with the
Let's-
jumpsuit and the big
Yeah.
collar. Yeah,
And
give that
the
to E
bacon and
ETC.
peanut butter sandwich. No, I'm just kidding.
And I think actually your idea, like the John Travolta white suit, if there's your Arthas silly skin.
Yes.
There you go.
I
there
think
you
that's
go.
great.
I think a
Saturday
good
night,
silly
Saturday
skin
night Arthas.
For
No,
Arthas
they need
would
to-
be like a
it-
mafia Arthas, like
When and if they ever bring in, and I can't say that's Arthas because he's blonde, but if they ever bring in Varian, he needs to have the Elvis jumpsuit
yes,
because
yeah.
he's got the right color hair and like it needs to be a Varian if they bring Varian in.
All right, I can see that.
Okay, well, that's going to do it for our show tonight. I want to thank Lignar for coming. Why don't you let everybody know
This
where
is
they can get
the
a hold of you?
Hero
I played the wrong
Spotlight.
thing. How can people get a hold of you?
Well, they can follow the podcast on Twitter at epic_podcast. Visit our website at epicpodcast.com. We record live every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, epicpodcast.com/live. And they can find me on Twitter at Lignar. We have a YouTube channel, which I've casted the 2 events that they put out, the 2 videos they put out for community commentary. If you go to our website, you can find the YouTube channel, but it's youtube.com/the epic podcast, all one word. Those are both out there. And we've been trying to get a little bit better about putting some more content out on YouTube, a little bit more on a regular basis. So
Sounds good. David.
You'll be able to find me probably intoxicated at 7 a.m. watching the hockey gold medal at the local bar. But beyond that, you can also find me on Twitter at BrelandCTR, 2 L's, 2 A's.
And Rem.
You can follow me on Twitter at RemedyZ. And I love esports and MOBAs are like my thing now, like super, super, super mucho love MOBAs. Anyways, so yeah, follow me on Twitter and you can talk to me about all that stuff. If you're playing League of Legends, my username is RemedyZ, and if you're playing Smite, my username is just Remedies. And anyways, yeah, come play games with us. I'm actually going to be streaming some Smite probably like right after the show tonight. So if any of you guys want to join me and play with me, I'm going to be streaming on my own channel, and that's just twitch.tv/remedies.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you can reach me at Geek of Random on Twitter. Send any of your questions, your theme ideas to show@heroesofthenexus.com, as well as our Twitter at the Nexus Podcast. I just want to let everybody know that's listening through podcast that you can join us in our chat room every week at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv/heroesofthenexus. I want to thank everyone for coming out. Man, it's been a great show, and I will see you guys all next week. Goodbye.
We love you all. Thanks for coming to the
Bye,
show.
everybody.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Oh, no problem.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Lignar.
Bye.
I'm done being dorky.
No, you're not.
I know, I can't. There's no off switch for the dorkiness.
I was going to say, you're not done. Just stop. Okay, cool. Awesome.
Thanks, Lignar.
Woo!
Oh, thanks for having me. I had a blast. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm more than willing to come back in the future. And Adam, might take you up on that like casting partner, because it's really hard to cast these things solo.
Yeah, we've been so busy. I know Rem wants to do it a little bit too, but yeah, me and you, we need to talk. Actually, because we're going to be doing on Blizzmaster, we're definitely going to, as soon as Heroes of the Storm comes out, we're going to start doing beta tournaments like ASAP.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I don't know if you still got the stream going, and I kind of wish maybe I mentioned it during the show.
Yeah, but it's like post show.
Yeah, I kind of brain farted like during the show. May 17th, we are doing a 24-hour marathon to raise money for Child's Play.
Ooh, nice.
We did one last year. We had a goal of $1,000. We hit, I don't remember the exact amount, but I think we raised like $1,300 last year.
Wow.
This year
we'll just make sure to have you on beforehand.
Hey, that works. That works. This year we're shooting for $2,500.
I will be there.
And
Shoot, I'll play games with you guys.
That's the goal. We're going to do some StarCraft arcade stuff because it's all free now, right?
Yes.
Hopefully we're in Heroes beta. We have like Medi and I both raid with AIE, and everybody on our raid team, like we raid with Scott Johnson and Roe and Dills, and like everybody on the raid team's a podcaster.
Oh, you're that raid group, eh?
Yeah, we are
Yeah,
team
that's
for
awesome.
So
just
us,
said A,
I know,
like
I
a
thought the same thing.
Canadian.
he did like he just like solidified. Yes, he's Canadian.
Yeah, I'm like empowered now, so it's like I'm owning
He's
it.
super proud. He's like, we beat America twice in 2 days.
We can say
The worst part
Sorry,
is
Lignar. I know
real
I
quick.
totally
if you,
That's fine. That's
if you
fine.
listen to the recordings after, all the Canadians are going by the Americans and be like, sorry.
Sorry.
No,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. David's gonna kill me. Anyways, go
What
ahead.
the crap
Lignar.
is wrong with Skype tonight? It is driving me nuts.
Yeah, the video keeps dropping.
go.
But
Okay,
one of the things we have planned, and we're
Comes
still
back
trying to
with a
figure out.
Leafs hat on.
That's
We're, these guys took on.
Let Lignar finish. I wanna hear.
We're still trying to figure out how we're going to work this out, but we're going to take our raid team versus Seraphis and Zia from the Sundering.
Oh,
Because Medi and I went to the Alliance or the Horde side. We'd raided Alliance all this time, and then recently we went over to AIE to the Horde side. Seraphis and Zia and Corey are still on the Alliance side, so we're going to try to do like a race through Flex as part of the stream.
I have both
like
Horde
that.
and Alliance if you need me.
Yeah, and we're still trying to figure out, like, we want to keep it within one or two people in the team. We don't want to have like one team with 12 and another one with 20, because it doesn't flex that well.
Totally makes sense.
So we're still trying to figure out the details there, but we're trying to work on that. But we're planning on having a blast. Like Medi's going to be here, Aeon's going to be here, which Remedies, I think you met him at BlizzCon. He was at World of Podcast with us.
Yeah.
Ro is planning on coming down. Joe's planning on coming down.
Awesome.
And I'll say this, like, this is all going to get edited out of the actual podcast, right? This is only for people, like, we're post-show, right?
This is just post-show, yeah. It gets edited out come the...
Zia may be driving down from Wisconsin to visit us and hanging out with us. So we may have, like, 6 people here in my place during the live stream. We're going to have a blast. Hopefully the people on the stream will have a blast. The people watching the stream will have a blast.
Where do you live, if you don't mind
I live in
me asking?
Ohio.
In Ohio. Oh, that's like way too far. I was going to say, well, maybe I'll just invite myself and drive there too, but that's heck far.
Wait.
Where are you?
Isn't that only like...
I'm in Tennessee.
That's like 3 states away.
Yeah, but that's like far.
Hey.
Yeah, you're looking at about an 8 or 9 hour drive.
Yeah,
that's
In 8 hours, I go through like 7 or 8
I'll do
states.
if you guys
I'm
are
good.
looking for more people to like just play and like do games and stuff or
and that's-
whatever, like I'll hop
we
in
don't have
Skype
a-
and
We don't
do
have a
shit.
set schedule of things like that, but yeah, we'll be doing. Hopefully, we'll be doing some StarCraft arcade stuff. I'm really hoping we're going to be doing some Heroes of the Storm stuff. Maybe we can get like, because our podcast is part of Catalyst Gaming Media with Seraphis and Zia and a bunch of folks like that. So
you
hopefully,
should mention that during the show.
I should have, but brain fart.
Yeah.
But hopefully we can get maybe a 5-on-5 within Catalyst, or maybe 5 from Catalyst and 5 from Blizzmaster, or something like that.
That'd be cool. That'd be
Because
fun.
I really I want to get into casting, and StarCraft is one of those, like, I love StarCraft. I love StarCraft, but it's one of those games I can't play it enough to be good to know the game enough to cast it well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Heroes is one of those games where it's just not coming out, and you can kind of get in on the ground floor, and like I really want to get into that. And like the 2 videos, the 2 that I did got. Ironically, the one that I put on Reddit got more views than the one that Blizzard put on the Heroes website.
Wow.
It's funny.
By like more than twice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
My wife has been getting annoyed with me watching so much LCS, and she's like, "You should stop watching this, and you should be doing that type of stuff." And I'm like, "Well, it's hard to get into it, So if you get into the ground floor, that's
honestly, it's really hard with the 2 videos that they put out. It's really hard to cast because you've never played it,
and
so
you can't control the camera.
Right, you can't control the camera, which you may have, like, if you were actually casting in an actual tournament, somebody else is going to be doing an observation.
Mm-hmm.
But you've never played it, so you don't know what any of the abilities are. You don't know what they're called. It's really difficult. And then if you look at the stuff that was data mined out of the alpha, like for some of the talents, it's like talent bucket 1. It's like, well, that doesn't tell me what it is.
Right.
Right.
So but I think once we get our hands on the game, like I really want to get into casting. Hopefully the early stages of the beta has the ability to play replays.
Yeah.
And cast from that. I know like StarCraft, when Heart of the Swarm came out, they had the ability to watch a replay with somebody, so it keeps it in sync and that kind of stuff. So
like the best thing ever.
If anybody is looking for somebody that they want to cast with, like, I'm not going to say I'm any good at it, but I'm looking for somebody to help with, because it's just one of those things, like when you're casting something and it's kind of like, I don't know what to say now. If you have somebody else there, they can say anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
you have the color
person
guy
viewing
and the play-by-play guy.
Oh, I was
Right.
gonna say
Yes.
that.
Real quick, we actually Hero Scene says, which LCS team am I rooting for? We can all answer that if you're watching it. EU, I'm going for Rokat, for the plain fact that they're all from Poland, and my grandfather was from Poland, and I was like, I'll start rooting for them at the very beginning, and they end up doing really well. And I want to see Curse do well, because I don't know, it just feels like I should want them to do well. How about you, Ram? I know you're watching it, right?
Yeah, there's I don't know. With League of Legends, I'm kind of like a bandwagoner. Sometimes I'll see like a team and I'm like, oh, they're getting really good, or like everybody loves this team or whatever. So I'm gonna go ahead and just admit that I'm a little bit of a bandwagoner, and I'm pretty much going with Team Solo Mid. I think that they're gonna take it all the way because they pretty much always do. So yeah, TSM, go go go.
Lignar, do you watch LCS at all?
I don't really watch LCS. I'm honestly not a big fan of watching League, mainly because the matches take so long, and for the first 20 minutes they're just laning. And to me, that's not entertaining to watch. It might be entertaining to play, but to watch, it's not.
Yeah.
But if I did have to pick a team, it would probably be TSM.
Everyone loves them. I would pick them.
I don't
except
really
they are
love them.
winning.
They're just.
I kind of.
I don't. Yeah, I say I don't really love them, but like if I had to pick a team that I thought would win, it would be TSM. I'm not saying I want them to win, but they're the team that I think is going to win.
Yeah.
I really don't care.
Yeah, I was just telling the chat room, I actually know a guy whose brother plays for CLG, which is another team that's in the LCS. So occasionally, like if I see a match with CLG, I'm like, yeah, go CLG. But yeah, I'm totally TSM all the way, all the way.
I think we're gonna go ahead and end this stream. I think I might break these cameras really quick.
Yeah, I'm ready to throw mine out the window.
Yeah.
Stupid Skype. Skype is dumb. It's
I
always.
don't know what's going on. This is the first time we've had this. Huh?
Yeah.
If there's anybody out there who's a software developer and you enjoy podcasts, write something that will replace Skype for podcasters, and you will be a billionaire.
Yeah.
Right?
Just saying.
Ulu tried, but they failed.
Right.
Yeah. Don't fail.
And like, well, and honestly, like, GoToMeeting is great, but it's like $50 a month.
Yeah.
But it's great, but it's $50 a month. So.
And then-
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty much the wraps it up. It's
Right.
$50
This is the point of the show where things are awkward and
Well, no, $50 a month. It just makes me sad. No. Well, thanks again for coming, guys. We appreciate it. Thanks, Lignar. Thanks, Rem, David. Thank you all for coming.
yeah, buddy. Hey, so if anybody is interested, I know I said it already, but I'm going to be playing some Smite. So if any three of you guys want to play with me, anybody in the chat room, if you want to play with me, I'm going to be streaming in like 20 minutes because I'm just going to go get a drink and use the restroom and stuff like that and then fire up my stream. So I'll be streaming. That's twitch.tv/remedies. I hope you don't mind me like promoting myself like this. Shameless plug, by the way. I should
All you
have
people
prefaced
shamelessly
it with
plugging
that.
me. David's the one who I trust not to plug himself. Like, no, I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah. Honestly, I was gonna plug myself after those camera problems for a while.
Yeah, Remedies, I think I'm going to pass for the evening, but I did DM you my name in game,
Awesome.
right?
I think, yes, I added
Okay.
you. You just haven't
Yeah.
accepted it.
I haven't logged in. So probably Sunday, I'll log in. So if you're around Sunday, we need to hook up, and hopefully Medi will be logged in because she just started downloading the game yesterday after she watched the video I put on YouTube. She's like, yes, I need to play this. So
Awesome.
hopefully we can get a group of us together and go and have some fun.
Heck yeah. I'm
So.
playing like every day, literally. So
No
Nice.
joke. Talk to you guys later. Bye. chat room.
Thanks for having me,
See
guys.
ya.
bye everybody. Thank
Bye,
you, Lignar.
everybody.